Is anybody else getting a little concerned about what's going on in the world, or is it just me? Recently I've had to cut down my YouTube videos, watching them. I don't make that many now, but there's just too much stuff going on. I did the video on time compression, and boy, you could just go from here to there and there and there and there and there and there, and this has happened a couple other times in society. But I want to talk about something else even more important. Food inflation. See this loaf of bread here? This is Udi's gluten-free. Of course, I'm gluten-free because I cannot tolerate all the gluten that they artificially put into breads and rolls and virtually anything that has gluten in it is so toxic to my body because it's so heavy. I want to tell you there's a lot of benefits to going gluten-free. One is I no longer have allergies after 40 years of severe allergies. I no longer have back pain, and that's after going to the chiropractor for anywhere from honestly 1 to 3 times a week for 20 years. During the time that it was its worst, I'd go 2-3 times a week, 10 times a month, 12 times a month, and I attribute it to this. Now you got to remember, when you quit putting in some of these nasty substances, it takes a while to work them out. There's no magic bullet to getting healed naturally. It's not like having pain and taking a 30 milligram Oxycontin and going, wow, my pain's gone. Yeah, so is your mind, your liver, your stomach, and everything else. But I want to talk about food inflation again. Guess how much this loaf of bread is? I'd like you to post your comment. I'm going to tell you how much this one loaf of bread, we paid for it yesterday. Now remember, it is gluten-free, but there's a steep price to eating healthy. It's not like walking into Walmart with the SNAP program and trying to buy, ramen noodles and tomato paste, and even that is everything has gone berserk. Everything in the whole world, I was talking to my sister, it seems like it's just surreal. The things that are going on, and I'm not going to get into them because you can watch other people's channels and they get into it, really heavy, what's going on the political scene. And political videos, oh my gosh, it's amazing what's going on in the political world. It's no wonder that this stuff is like, okay, are you ready, guys? Okay, I'm going to keep you on. This is whole grain, and who's to say that there's not GMOs in this? They just did a study and they found 75% of the rainwater and the soil samples that were tested have some sort of toxicity to them, namely Roundup, which started back in 1995, the big push for GMOs. And okay, I'm not going to keep you any longer in suspense. $9 for a loaf of bread. $9. How can people afford anything? Now we're stuck with mandatory health care, and for me, I have health care, and it's like $327 a month, and it's got a 90% deductible. That's right, it covers 10% of major medical. So say that you went out and you had cancer surgery or something like that, and it was $100,000. It's going to pay $10,000. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to qualify as health care, but they had just changed all that. It used to be 80%. They'd pay 80% and I'd pay 20%. Well, now I'm paying 90% and they're paying 10%, and it's crazy. Guys, maybe I should just get rid of like someone said, if you can't afford health care, just get rid of your cell phone and your cable TV. That's the kind of world we live in. It's just, it's totally beyond my comprehension how it got so messed up the way it is. Now, food prices, I went a week ago. My wife was out of town, and my son, he likes grapes, so we got 2 little bags of grapes, about like this. You know how much grapes are? 2 candy bars, yeah, I had some sugar, and a thing of chicken, And it came to $28.58. And I'm going, how can people eat? You know, I know of families that are really, really hurting. The dad's been out at work for 3-4 years, and of course they're on welfare. A majority of people that shop at Walmart are on welfare. I've pulled a Mark Dice, and I ask people, but I don't put it on camera. I don't have time to do that. But 80% of people that buy food at Walmart pay by SNAP. And 80% of people that work at Walmart are on welfare. So I had something that I said, it was about 15 years ago when we first moved here, maybe 18 years ago. I said someday Walmart's going to be the national distribution center for goods and services at some point in our society. And you know what? It's happening. Eventually there's not going to be anything but Walmart. You ever wonder why when they built these Walmarts there'd be 26 aisles, but only 2 or 3 of them would be open? Well, now they combined like 4 of those, and they've got 8 stations where it's a self-pay, where you just run your phone over it, or your quick pay, or the 666. And then some of these places now are putting facial recognition software, namely Home Depot. And I've never been a fan of Home Depot. Now there's a lot of good people that work at Home Depot, but I don't want my face being scanned all the time. We already have them on law enforcement vehicles. You see them mounted on their rear view mirrors, side view mirrors, and it reads license plates. And there's actually private companies now that go out there and read your license plates and put it against stolen vehicles, or maybe you have some warrants out for your arrest. And then they just hit a button, goes right to the law enforcement, and you're pulled over. Of course, with all the tax revenue being down so excessively, these poor municipalities need the extra revenue. So everything is going through the roof, and mark my words, just mark my words, in 6 months to a year, if you think things that are expensive now, just wait. I know my utilities for a fact have doubled in the last 10 years. What if they double again? I remember saying, we're going to see $10 loaf of bread. Now when I say this, we're going to see $25 bread. We're going to see electric bills of $700-800 a month. I remember back my first apartment in 1972 was $75 a month, and I split it with a guy, and it was $37.50 each, and utilities were about 15 or 20 bucks a month. But as you know, and I'm preaching to the choir, the dollar's lost 98% of its value since over the last 100 years, and if it continues to keep losing value like this, we're going to see $40 gallon gas, like I said, $25 loaves of bread. Your rent's going to be $2,000 a month. Your utilities are going to be $3,000 a month. Your health care is going to be $4,000 a month, and people are going to have to be able to figure out how to survive. And I'm not sure how that looks. And it doesn't look like it's a pretty picture. The time of prosperity in America is simply over. The time for America, I think, is over. It's not certainly the country that I grew up in. Another unique observation, I took my kid to school today. And I've noticed this before. If you go to any grade school around the United States, it's been built in the last 20, 30, 40 years, kids used to ride their bikes to school. And the bike racks were just full of bicycles. And that you didn't even have to padlock them back then. You just drive your bike, you'd park it. Well, then we reached a point where you had to start padlocking them, but somebody'd steal them. And now nobody rides bicycles to school anymore, at least in this is a small town I live in. So we're seeing some profound changes in society, in prices, in politics, in just about every aspect of humanity, every aspect of life. Now, I can't speak for other countries, but if you are listening to this video and you're in a foreign country, in the UK, or it's really foreign, Australia, Canada, Mexico, Malaysia, Japan, Korea, China. Well, they don't have the internet in China, but we need human rights in China. I think that's why we just spent like quite a bit of money going over there and preaching about equality. So nothing makes sense to me anymore. Nothing at all. And it's changed so rapidly in the last 10 years that since 2001, we've just been sucked down the rabbit hole. And a lot of people are suffocating. They're just, just cover the dirt over the top and put a cross in it. And people are just, done. People are offing themselves. People are, the guy that works for us that, does odd jobs, he brought his nephew with him last year. And I seen him yesterday and he says, the guy I brought with me? Nice 19-year-old kid, handsome. And I said, yeah. He says he committed suicide. I can't count on one hand just the people that I've come in contact with that recently that know someone that's committed suicide. And it's really unfortunate that people have to feel like there's nothing left. There's no hope left. And to do something like that is just such a tragedy. Such a tragedy. Anyway, guys, give me a report on, what you're seeing on food prices, human mentality, the reactions to what's going on in the world. And I appreciate you watching my videos, sharing them, commenting them, and have a good day.